Are you ready to be in the spotlight? Are you ready to share your story with the world? Well, Snails with No Shells is where you need to be. Available on all digital platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Greetings, beautiful ones. I am Miss BJ Martin, and this is Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. That's my only rule in this room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am just so ecstatic. I have an amazing guest I'm going to bring to the stage. This man he is awesome, amazing, phenomenal, all those big words. Let me bring him to the stage. Oyi Sun.
I made it. I finally made it to your show.
Finally
Yay.
made it. Thank you for being on Snails with No Shells. We appreciate you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Yes, and I my sound effects. See, he was ready. That's what I'm talking about. Ready. I love it. I love it. So, Oyi Sun, tell us a little bit about you.
Wow. I come from a grand champion dysfunctional family. That's how I grew up, in a very dysfunctional family. My father was a lot older than my mother. They split up a lot, lots of separating, finally a divorce. I was chubby when I grew up. Then I lost a lot of weight, just got really, really nice, and all that transformation that happened early. And was recruited to go to West Point, ended up going to North Carolina A&T, State University.
All right.
And then I got introduced to the drug game by my cousin. Right. And my career in non-legal things took off. It just took off. Well, I've always been successful when I really put my mind to it. And I put my mind to it, and I was really successful. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot in that process. Came into contact with consciousness, spiritual brothers. My spiritual path and my dope boy path was running like side by side. Sometimes they was like mingling just like this. They was running one and the same. But I've always been devoted to my studies. And that's probably what has led me here, like including with all these books back here I still need to read or I still want to study. And now I am an astrologer. I'm a teacher. I am a space holder. I'm a gatekeeper. I am a psychedelically informed coach. I am a mental health advocate. And I'm also a Black love, Black family advocate. Those are probably the hats that I'm wearing the most right now. And it just seems that I'm always in some type of personal development, because right now I got about 3 or 4 things going on right now. I'm also a fledgling mycologist. I have become involved in the quest for knowledge through psychedelic mushrooms and entheogens all the way around. I've begun to dive very deep into the research that they've had since the 1950s, and also my own personal research to see how can this help my mental, because I know Black men in America got some mental health issues going on, and we can't be blaming everybody else. We got to work on our own stuff right now. So that's probably the short end of it. Maybe.
Oh my. That's a lot of hats.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard that you were also what's the quote? Your astrologer's favorite astrologer. So
100%. I'm absolutely your favorite astrologer. I'm their favorite astrologer.
okay, so what did you, out of all these things that you do, what did you start doing first? Do you remember?
Oh man, with the current hats now, I would say breathing was first.
Okay.
I also coach Tai Chi. I teach Tai Chi and Qigongs, some martial arts. And that was where I came in contact with astrology in Grandmaster Sunyata's class. And I didn't even know it was a Tantra class. I thought it was just a Tai Chi class, but it was a Tantra class under the cover of a Tai Chi class. And I went there to learn how to heal my father from his cancer. Because the teacher said, hey, this is how I heal myself from cancer. My father raised me. I was like, yo, I'm in my 30s now. I don't have the money for like very expensive treatment. And I did not believe in it. I didn't believe in chemotherapy. I do believe that chemotherapy will kill you faster. So I was like, if there's a natural way, let me go and investigate it. And I went to investigate it, and I never left. And that was when I really, one day just sitting on the floor talking to Letissa, and she was like, when's your birthday? And it just moved on from right there. So from that class of going to want to help my father and learning Tai Chi and Reiki and Lee Kung Jing and Tai Chi and different martial arts and things like that, astrology was right in the middle. But I always was breathing. And I remember that your breath was represented by the planet Gemini. I mean, the planet Mercury and the sign Gemini. And so since then, that's probably been the second longest thing that I have studied. Number one probably would be the art of war. When I was recruited to go to West Point, I did not know that they taught the art of war to freshmen. So when I was 18, I was going to A&T, Aggie Pride, and I did not. I ran into an old dread like myself. Now I'm the old dread now, but it was an older dread who was like in his late 20s or early 30s, and he was raising his son. And we went to his house one day. He had a lot of books. Everybody was just picking books up and reading them, and I picked up the Art of War. And he let everybody take their book home but me. And he was like, this book doesn't leave the house. And when I was looking at his notes in the column, you know how you get a Bible and you like underline, then you highlight it in pink, then you highlight it in yellow, then you underline it in red, then you get a blue pen and write in the column and draw lines to the. That's how his was. It was gutted up. And so now that's how mine is. And so I've been studying the art of war since 1988. And I've been studying astrology probably since 2002. So I put them together and everything works fine. Everything works fine after that. So I guess if I did have to pick one hat, I'm a spiritual strategist.
Yes. Okay. Spiritual strategist. I like that. I like that. And then I want to ask you another thing. Do you recall like when you had like your first, some people call it maybe an awakening, or your first spiritual situation happened to you? Can you recall?
How I got on this stuff?
On this
100%.
path. Mm-hmm.
400K Bingham Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Those apartments are not there now, but that was the address. And like I said, the doughboy and the spirit was running together. And one of my best friends that I grew up with, played football with since I was 12. When I got to Greensboro, he was involved in the same activities back in Fayetteville, aka Vietnam. What's up, Fayetteville? And my roommate, who was he was an OG older than me, said, "Hey man, if the feds are looking for him, out of sight, out of mind, just tell him to come on up here and just chill with us for a little while." So we've all had that moment where we were sleeping on somebody's couch, right? Because we really couldn't stay where we were. And he came up and was staying on the couch, and probably about a couple of weeks into him being there, I came in, and most days, if whoever came in, you would roll up the first blunt first. And so then when somebody would come in, you would just pass it to them. So when I walked in, he already had one going, and he passed it to me. And before I could say something, I'm smoking. And he says, "Did you know that the earth was 93 million miles away from the sun?" Now, and then I was like, "What?" And then he said, "Yeah, and the earth weighs 66 sextillion tons." And I was like, "Boy, what is going on?"
Right.
Because in high school, he was just an athletic super jock, but he barely graduated from high school and was in all the general classes and all this. And I was in all the advanced classes and stuff like that. How do you know this? This wasn't on the SAT. Like, this wasn't in any science class that I ever even heard of growing up in Fayetteville, where I went to school at. And then the third statement was what rocked my world and put me on the path to forever. And he said, "What if our fathers would have taught us this when we were 12? And my answer was slide over. I told him to scoot over so I could read what he was reading.
Yes.
And I was like, "Where'd you get this from?" He was like, "Oh, I got it out of Rob's closet." I was like, "My roommate, Rob, this has been in his closet the whole time, and I didn't know about it." He was like, "Yes, a whole bunch of books back there." Pew! Hit Rob's closet up. It was over. It was over from there.
Wow.
And that's when I learned to show interest. Because when he got home, I was like, "Why you ain't never showed me this book?" He said, "You never showed interest." Oh my God. And then later on, probably 2012, when I started studying with Dr. Maxwell Narty in symptometry and scientific eating and root cause therapeutics, one thing he taught me was we only work with the willing. He was like, only work with the willing.
Okay.
So never try to drag someone to something, whether it's for optimal health, for money, for anything. If you have to drag someone, then they're not going to have, that gumption to go ahead and see it all the way through. And after that, I believed that when I needed something or needed more information, I needed to show interest. And from now on, I just show interest. And then
yeah, that was a great lesson to learn at a young age. That was a great lesson. I love that.
Still learning it.
Yeah. Yes, we all are still learning our lessons. Oh, wow. Wow, what a story. That's why I love doing these interviews. I get to find out things that I didn't know.
Word.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. Let us know, what does Oyi, your name is Oyi Sun. What does Oyi mean?
It doesn't have a meaning.
Okay.
I also practice numerology. And I used to go by Coach Kair. Everybody who probably will see my face will be like, "That's Coach Kair. Who's Oyi Sun?" And a teacher that I have now, Dr. Gibson, he introduced me to a science called Kotodamo. Now, when they had the video about the water and they put the words on the water, and so the water, like love changed the frequency of the water, hate changed the frequency, jealousy, joy, just putting the words on there. So he was explaining how the name Kair had a cutting sound at the very beginning. And he was just like, all the things that you keep doing, when you get right to the point of success, it's cut off, isn't it? And that was like the hardest reading I ever had. He didn't ask no birthday, no nothing. It was just like, I was like, oh my God, I've been hiding that. That's the real truth. And he was like, he said, it's going to stay that way, until you're like 99 years old, unless you change your name. He said, unless you want to keep things cutting off when you're almost there. And I was like, nah, bro. And then I just heard an O sound, like some kind of way. I just heard O. And I was like, oh, that must be the first letter. So I asked him, I was like, is it Osiris? He was like, no. I was like, is it Orion? He was like, no. And then I went through a lot of other names that I have went through in the past, nicknames and things like that. And he was like, no to all of them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so I went home and looked up Kotodamo. That was the first thing to see what is this science. So if you making me get rid of one, you're gonna have to help provide me with the next one. I said, we are not about to make another name that cuts things off.
Right.
And when I found it, it talked about the 5 syllables. I mean, the 5 vowels of the alphabet being the mother tone. And then there were, I think like 7 or 8 combination, 2-letter combinations after that were the father tones. And then all the other consonants, they were the children. And so I was like, well, I don't have children. I need to get a mother to have some children. So I'm just going to make my name off of these first 2 sounds. And I just started piecing the sounds together. And then a good friend of mine, Dr. Amsu, helped me play a game. He drew a tic-tac-toe out, and he put 9 numbers in the tic-tac-toe, but he put them in different orders. And he said, take this pencil and go as fast as you can for 1 minute in every different square. Don't hit any square twice. Just keep going fast as you can. And when we get to 1 minute, stop. And when he said stop and I stopped, I was on the number 3, which was also my life path number. And he said, that's how many letters is in this name. So I knew it started with an O. And now I knew it had 3 letters. So then when I jumped further into Kotodamo, and I came up with Oyi, it didn't have a meaning, it had a frequency. So there's something called a gematria calculator that I use to put words in. And so like, if I wanted to know, if I just want to put BJ Martin in, I would, use this calculator to tell me what the value of that is. And then it would show me all the other words that had that same frequency. So BJ Martin has a frequency of 862. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, what else? Aloe vera has 862. Mm-hmm. Cash of the Future has 862. The Ancient of Days is 862. Community is 862. Resistance is Futile is 862. Wow. The High Priestess of Mayat is 862. Playground is 862. And so as I was looking, Vintage is 862. Mm-hmm. Columbia Pictures. So I was looking for other things that had the same frequency that I could relate to. And I saw so many things that related to my particular frequency. I said, let me move from meaning to frequency. Because meanings can be misunderstood, but numbers are numbers. If you get on the scale and it says 200, guess what? You're not 190, and you're not heavy, and you're not light. You're 200. Right. And so I wanted to be very direct with that. And so I was very cool with it. I thought it definitely was strange, but I know the O was also for open. I wanted to be open to things versus cutting things off. Mm-hmm. And the Y-I-Yi means intent. And I just went with Oyi, and I ran the numbers. I was very happy. And then I Googled it because I was like, where is this at? What does this mean? Because that's what I was on. I was like, I ain't never even seen this word before. And come to find out, it's a small city in Nigeria.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
In Nigeria. And somebody made a song called Oyi about that city. So it's a Nigerian guy serenading this Nigerian girl talking about the city of Oyi. Yes. I was like, yo, that was dope. And then I got in an Uber one time, and if you're in Atlanta and you ride Uber, you're going to run into a Nigerian.
Yes.
And the joker was like, Oyi, where did you get that name? And then I told him, and I was like, wow. I was like, that's my name. He was like, have you ever been to Nigeria? I did that a lot too, but this wasn't like a Nigerian asking a black person had they been to Nigeria. This was a Nigerian who knew where Oyi, the city, was, asking me, had I ever been, I guess, home to my namesake. And I was like, nah. And I met a couple of those. And one day I even met a guy who runs a hotel right outside of Oyi.
Wow.
And he was like, yo, I work in Atlanta for 6 months and I go home for 6 months. He said, whenever you want to come home, just let me know. I just put you up in my hotel. And I was just like, okay. So that's on my bucket list. I'm going
I
to
know it is. All those synchronicities. How could you, those prompts, how could you not want to go? That's
100%.
yes. Wow. That is dope.
And I did make an acronym for it too. So OYE is optimize your intent or optimize your investment. Because I want everybody to get a return. So when you see me or you say my name, whatever you're investing, I'm going to optimize it. And I want you, and you're going to optimize it too. So when I do an astrology reading or this 2-day think tank that I have coming up on Saturday and Sunday, whatever I'm charging, I'm guaranteeing 500% back.
Yes.
So if you give me $1, I know I'm going to give you back 5 worth of OYE. If you give me 5,000, I'm going to give you 25,000, probably $1 million. I probably will come up with $1 million ideal for 5,000 for certain. So once I get to the point, and I'm practicing this, so when I get that first $500,000 deal, I can be like, bet, okay, this is going to make you $50 million, not 5, but $50 million. And then when I get my first $1 million deal, I probably make someone 10 or $50 million.
I love that.
100, something like that.
Okay. All right. Something like that. Okay. I love it. Okay, now let's get on it. You talked about your 2-day think tank. Yes. Let's go into yes. What is that about? What does that consist of? Your 2-day think tank.
So I always find myself in high-level conversations. Ta-da! I'm in a high-level conversation right now. It's no effort for me to be in a high-level conversation. And so I realize that a high-level conversation, especially amongst Black people, is a think tank. If you got a high-level conversation and people will stay together, you have a think tank. And out of think tanks come masterminds. And this is what Napoleon Hill, who I'm a fan of, he's right here on the wall, he was talking about masterminds and forming masterminds. And so right now, the condition of everything that we have going on in the United States is super surface. Our conversations are super surface. The things we're arguing about or debating about on social media, the politics, the way we treat one another, they're so surface. None of them are deep or high level. And I was like, I want to talk only high level for the rest of my life. I only want to form think tanks so these people can network with one another. And the first subject that I wanted to talk to about was something that was passionate to me that people were calling complicated. I was like, it's not complicated, it's just high level. And so, which is entheogens, psychedelics. And because that's what I'm into. And a lot of people always approach me and ask me questions, but what they're really asking me is about safety. So if you look at the flyer on the whole page, workwithoye.com, is safety first, all behind me. Safety first, safety first, safety first. And so I've done probably close to 300 ceremonies that I have sat for other people. And the new people that come to me, they always say, it was because I feel safe around you. And then I ensure safety by the way I hold ceremony. And a lot of people are very confused about safety, psychedelic mushrooms, what they can do for mental health, how they can help fix relationships. So this particular think tank is to remove all confusion. is to remove all confusion, is to make it very, very plain. And as I say, I'm gonna bring it from high level to eye level. So you can be able to, I want my nephew who's 14 to be able to watch this and say, absolutely, Unc, I see what you're talking about. And I want somebody 75 to look at it and say, oh, I'm going through my third Saturn return. I see what you're talking about. And I'm going to include the things that I love, which are astrology, human design, strategy, spirituality. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the Black family. I'm going to be talking about love. I'm going to be talking about ancestral healing is going to be the big one, though. In this thing, like, I want to show people how to build their own personal altar, how to use it, what's it for, and what is mycology? What are magic mushrooms? What do you use them for? Why shouldn't you be afraid of them? Because when a person leaves on the end of that second day, I want them to say, no, I don't have any confusion. I want them to be a mini me. I want them to be a mini expert. If they repeat what I told them or go research what I told them and then expound upon it, then we'll have hopefully 100 new experts. Because that's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for to get a good 100 people into this class. And that's the network that I want to start with. Now, as an astrologer, for over 12 years, there's a system that I've been using called Prosperity 365. And a lot of people think that the new year starts on January 1st. And it does not. So you have 2 new years. One is on your birthday. So that's an individual, very personal new year. And then the other one is September 22nd. September 22nd is 7 weeks away. Are you ready? Whatever you're doing right now, whoever's watching this live on the replay, it's August. What you're doing in August is a result of what you planned in September of last year. So everything, whatever you're doing, me on your show is a result of some plan that I had September 22nd to November the 5th. You having me on your show has something to do with some plan that you had on between September 22nd and November the 5th. So I want to give people this so they can now start to map out their lives so they can know when the prosperity is coming.
Yes.
When to fall back. Because so most people think of prosperity as the arrow going out and hitting the target, right? They want the arrow to be moving forward, right?
Right.
But in order for the arrow to move forward, things have to get tight first. And it actually has to go in the opposite direction, but it's always pointing where it wants to go. So people don't really understand how I just brought that down to eye level. You have to tighten up, pull backwards, stretch it back tight, make sure you're aimed at something that you really want before you let it go. So I'm going to be showing people how to use this Prosperity 365. We call it the GPS, greatest possible strategy. It's the greatest possible strategy because you don't really have to know all astrology like me. You don't have to know all moon magic like me. All you have to be able to do is add the number 3 to a couple of numbers.
And that's great because that sometimes that it's a lot like the astrology, if you see the charts, all the numbers and the degrees and all that can be a little overwhelming for some people.
And then that causes confusion because as a mental health thing, the mind is always trying to run from something new because the mind is trying to label it as that's hard. Because a lot of people like to teach things and sound heavy.
Right.
But if you want to help people, you need to make it clear and stay simple.
Yes.
And so that's what I feel is one of my masteries is helping people and keeping it simple. Yes. So they can get a high ROI.
Yes. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you he was amazing. And I want to show your banner for those who might just now be coming in.
Hey.
We have ancestral healing, which I am going to ask you more about, with sacred earth medicine, astrology, and human design. Heal thyself, heal thy ancestors. This is a master class on integration and safety. Integration and safety. 2-day virtual think tank. This is on August the 13th and August the 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm looking at that safety. That's definitely been a big topic, especially with melanated women. I hear about safety a lot. I've been hearing it a lot lately.
Do you know why? Why are you hearing it so much from women? I know I'm switching up, supposed to be my interview, but I got a melanated woman right here, and you brought it up. So why are we hearing so much about the word safety from melanated women? Because I have my own opinion. I want to hear it from a melanated woman who knows other melanated women.
Ooh, why are we talking about safety?
Yes, hard too, boy. Y'all going ham with it. Y'all going ham. Y'all going hard in the paint.
I'm hoping that we're maybe waking up. We're going into our more feminine space now. Maybe we're not being in this masculine space of I got to do everything. I got me. I'm good. I don't need no man. Maybe there is an awakening with us. No, I do need safety. That's just that's just a guess. I don't know. But that would be one. I would say one aspect of it, of the safety, why we're talking about it so much lately.
That's cool. I like that. That's a good answer. That's cool, right? I heard some other things coming out because sometimes I see people make memes on social media and it says, "Can a woman say I was wrong and I'm sorry?" And all the women are like, "Hell no, hell no, hell no."
Really?
Yeah, so they'll say, "I'm having an awakening." Why don't you just say you was wrong about being a man, about you didn't need no man? You could say you were wrong and then say, "I apologize." And then you can really get some results right there too, and it's so funny because I don't know, that's just like me. As a spiritual strategist, you have to have a sense of humor about all the things that happen, like karmically and stuff like that. And so this is the period where it's almost equivalent to if a woman catches a man cheating. Now, as an astrologer, I see this a lot because I have a lot of women that come to me asking me about relationships. Your intuition already told you all the news that you needed. Then you came to me and I triple verified the whole thing and really come to find out y'all not even emotionally connected. Forget love. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not even emotionally connected past a 3 level on a scale of 1 to 10. You still want a confession? Why would you want a confession? Why would you want him to say, "Yo, I cheated"? Your intuition told you, then your favorite astrologer told you, but you still want him to say it, right? And so now I'm like, wow, the shoe's on the other foot. A man, melanated men, we want to hear Black women say, I was wrong. I'm sorry. But then you said, well, we're awakening. We're waking up. Waking up from what? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, and I am a firm believer that that's also a mental that's a sign of mental health trauma. It's a sign of immaturity to talk, to try to even be independent, to be like, I don't need nobody else. You don't understand how life works. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand how life works. So it doesn't matter what color you are, what sex you are, but that's why I'm such an advocate of, I'm pro-Black love, pro-Black family.
Yes.
If we keep talking, if you can't apologize, you can't say you sorry, and you can't say, I need you, I really do, and stop talking Stop misusing your magic.
Mm.
So that's really what has been, for me, why I'm doing this, because I want to empower melanated people, especially women, to be safe and stop misusing your magic, because misusing your magic turns into a behavior. So on my social media, I just been going in, on some topics, and some women come and say, "Oh my God, the way he's talking, he doesn't even like black women."
Mm.
I say, I love black women. I hate their misbehavior. See, I hate your misbehavior. I love you, but your misbehavior, no, they're not this. Because you can change. You can't change you, but you can change your behavior. Bars. You can't change you because you have a birthday and you have a blood type. Those two things aren't going to change. You can get some more hair. You can put some more weight on. You can take some weight off. You could go get a BBL or do all types of stuff.
Mm.
Just found out too that the BBLs in Colombia only cost $3,000. I was like, oh my God, that's why everybody out here doing what they're doing. I was like, Jesus Christ. So anyway,
Wow.
this is a sidebar, but I was surprised that it was so cheap,
Wow.
But why? Look, I don't want to get off topic, but hey, when can we get together and get back to loving one another instead of, because we're going to need help from everybody in the community to heal this mental health epidemic that we have. It is way worse than COVID. It's way worse than anything that we've ever encountered. As a matter of fact, it's worse than the slavery that some people think they were a part of. You sitting there talking about the slave trade in Africa. What about the mental health issue in America today that's causing us to lead? Excuse me, we're leading the nation in divorce per capita. We're leading the nation per capita, Black women having abortions.
Really?
Yeah, we're leading. We have the fewest amount of Black women, but per capita, we're leading in abortions. That's mental. That's mental, So you can say, I need this over here and all this. And that's fine if you want to say, I feel unsafe. I don't feel safe raising this child by myself. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All that's great. But we have what I call IP. And people think that means intellectual property because everybody's concentrating on the bag. But IP is indigenous practices. And that's why I say this is ancestral healing with sacred earth medicine. We are sacred earth people for the time we've been here. We came from the stars. That's what made us sacred. I'm sacred because I came from the stars. I'm earth people because I stay here. So now I got sacred earth medicine, which is all of your entheogens, psychedelic mushrooms, peyote, things that contain DMT, Sananga, all types of stuff, that are natural from the earth that can help us, but we're running toward pharmaceuticals.
Right.
We love to get us a prescription now.
Yes.
Ooh, we love to pop us a pill. And then guess what happened when the mental health thing got crazy? This is the one stat they don't want to let out. Per capita, how many Black people are dying from fentanyl? They just say fentanyl is taking over as the number one killer. More people are dying from fentanyl overdoses than cocaine overdoses.
Wow.
Than heroin overdoses. Well, why are we so comfortable popping fentanyl? Could it be that we're comfortable popping prescription? Could it be that we've been programmed to go against indigenous practices? Could it be? Well, how do we get it back? So I'm going to go and talk about safety. Like I could talk about high dose this and high dose that. And I'm going to talk about, not just the safety of how do you safely consume it, but all aspects of safety and how that is going to also be applied to healing your ancestors. Because if you're having a problem with safety and women are having a problem with safety, guess who had a problem with safety before them? Their mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who had a problem with safety too? Their mothers. If I go back one more, that's 4 generations.
Right.
I've jumped into ancestors now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I'm going to talk about is something called ancestral debris and how we inherited it.
Mm.
You inherited ancestral debris the same way you inherited your daddy's last name. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Mm.
Now what you do with it. Like I heard a phrase one time, it said, it don't matter if you were born broke, just don't die broke. You can be born broke, that's fair. But if you die broke, boy, you was bull jiving while you was down here. So
Right.
all of us are born with ancestral debris. What do we do to clear it up is the thing. And how can we use these indigenous practices to heal ourselves and heal my ancestors? See, a lot of people think if your ancestor dies, if Aunt Mabel, who had cancer, dies, she just gets a fresh body. No, she still has cancer wherever she just went to. No matter whether she went to heaven or hell, the cancer went with her. My father, when he died with $32,000 worth of debt. Guess what happened? He took the debt with him. So now he's an ancestor that started off in the hole.
Mm.
And he had not completely healed from his stroke nor his cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I had to put in a process of work to help him heal on that side. Now, a lot of people are very unfamiliar with this,
Right.
because of our religious programming,
Mm-hmm.
that you only have one life, and when it's over, they really don't even tell you no details. They just say when it's over, you're going up or down, but they never say what happens to the stuff that you have. People who run in there and shoot up a school and then kill themselves, you got all that blood on your hands with you. You didn't get away. The universe doesn't work like that. We think we don't know how the universe works. We don't even think how the universe works because we don't investigate. We don't have deep or high level conversations. We're very surface.
Mm-hmm.
But the ancestors, when they start reaching back out to you, they're trying to warn me and you and everybody else. You better get a different fundamental understanding of what happens at the point of death and afterwards, or you're going to end up like me. I can determine what kind of afterlife I have that's outside of what religious text promises me.
Yes.
And so we have a slew of people leaving the church, but they don't really have an education on the number one thing that the church was an advocate of, death. The church is an advocate for death. You must die. You must die. You must die. You don't really have to die. I have research of people. I have research of over 10,000 cases of people just dropping their bodies and turning into a beam of light. And all of a sudden, a lot of people in the village be like, "Yo, there's a rainbow, and there's a stack of clothes over there, and that's where Henry was sitting at." But of course, in the United States now, you're never going to see this. So you have to broaden your vision. But in other cultures, they write all this down. Like we think we're the only one that's got scientists. So sometimes our naivety is right akin to either foolishness or mental health. So I don't want to keep calling everybody foolish. So I was like, man, if you this naive, you got a mental issue, because the United States is not the only scientists in the world. Every country got scientists,
Right.
Food scientists, historians, sex scientists, gynecologists. What do you mean? Because we got the most weapons and the most money, we think that we are the best at everything. And because you found some things on the internet, you think that you know everything. You can't even get on China's website. When you go to China, you can't get on Facebook, or you can't get on some sites that you are used to getting on over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think that this one internet that you have is the same one that the whole world has. So I'm here to remove some confusion so we can see, so we can heal, so we can produce more Black love, more Black family, so you can prepare to be an ancestor. You can heal your ancestors, and then you can leave an example for your children or whoever's watching you. They need to see something besides what we're showing them, because what we're showing them right now is chaos and confusion. Chaos and confusion, and we're showing them very small thinking. I know you've been seeing that meme that's going around says, "Think bigger, think bigger, think bigger."
Think bigger, yes.
And I'm with that too, because some of the Bible I still rock with, and at the very beginning it says, "And multiply." It don't say and add on. It says multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. That means my blessings shouldn't go from 1 to 2. My blessings should go from 9 to 81. Right. It should be multiplying. It should be, 10 times 10 is 100, not 10 plus 10 is 20. I need to be multiplying my blessings, and thinking small. You'll always be thinking about subtraction, and you'll always be thinking about addition, but you won't be thinking about multiplication. And so that's what I want to do is, let's see what happens when we remove the confusion, because it's never happened before. We've always been confused about something. Always. We've always been hanging out at the wall of suffering. We've always been lamenting over something that don't even have it even concern us. And the crazy part is, I don't even want to use the word crazy talking about mental health, but I'm sorry. I just met a young lady last night, and they were just quizzing me all these things about mushrooms and psychedelics and things like that. And her honesty came up. That is what it's awakening like. It's harder and harder for people to lie. And she was like, I have a short attention span, and I let anxiety worry me, and I'm always worried about what somebody else is saying about me, white or Black.
Wow.
I said, honey, you halfway home on the healing, because at least you were able to say it.
Yes.
At least you were able to say it. A lot of people are not going to say, you know what, I really do care about what other people think and say about me that I've never met.
Right.
And that I have met. And so that's a part of what I like from Alcoholics Anonymous. When you get there, they want you to fess up. They want you to be like, what's up? I'm Harold, and I'm a damn alcoholic.
Right.
Now let's go and move on. So now you can't shame me anymore. I already said I was an alcoholic. Eminem did it in 8 Mile.
Yeah, he did.
He just told everything about him being in a trailer and his mama doing drugs and him blah, 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 blah. And the other guy didn't have anything to talk about. So that's what honesty does. Radical honesty. It was an example of radical honesty. I think I need to go back and watch that last scene. I might show that this weekend in the think tank, just to get people's mind in that space about being radically honest.
Yes. And that's funny you should say that, because my son was watching that movie yesterday. He was watching that yesterday. So yeah, that's a trip. Wow, yes. And just being radically honest, that's the beginning, when you can just be for real.
Oh, it's tough now. It's tough out here. I know you like saying it. Oh, it's so nice. It's so this. Make sure you say it's so tough too. Come on, snap your fingers. It's so tough. Being radically honest, just because y'all heard Miss Martin over there say it real easy and cute and sexy, it's not that easy.
No, it's not. It's not. And I had to have someone, I had someone had to come to me, come to my face and really be like, you need to be honest. I had to kind of get it shook out of me, Yeah, it wasn't pretty. The truth is not always pretty. It's not. The truth is not. The truth can be very ugly.
But what does the truth do, though? What does it say in the good book? It does what?
What does it say?
Makes
like frees you,
free.
right?
No,
Yeah,
it makes, not set, not set. Make. Set is like, I'm opening the door and I'm setting you free. Making is kicking your ass out. Meaning,
You got to go.
you got to go. I'm making you grow up now because you can't stay here no more. What? Yes.
Yes.
I'm not setting you free. I'm making you go be free, which is what the truth was designed for. And that's why I use the word sacred. That's why I want people to text me. Just text the word sacred to 404-999-4251, because I want to only talk to people who really want to be honest all the time. I want to talk to people who want to be honest, but they're having trouble with it. I want to talk to people who want to be honest, but they don't got nobody to be honest with.
Yes.
Or the fourth one, they don't have anybody to be honest with because they don't know that they could be honest with themselves. And then I want to know, who are the people who really value honesty first? Who really values sacred things? And that's one of the things when we remove confusion and talk about going into sacred ceremony and healing your ancestors. This is a sacred task.
Yes.
Clearing up all of this ancestral debris is a sacred task. It's not a secret task. It's something that's really important. And so I'm going to be putting the rest of this year up to September 22nd and all of next year. Because where I ended up at this summer from last fall, if I can just run that back, I don't even want to run it back. I got to improve on it. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I want to introduce as many people as I can to
it. Wow. You have a major task.
Oh, that's the small one. We're talking about the little ones. We ain't got to the big ones, but you're right. I have some major tasks. This one is the starter. This one is the starter.
So I have a question about your ancestors. Just a quick question. So I've heard that, some of the ancestors, I've heard that you shouldn't put some ancestors on your altar. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an ancestor altar. Okay. Just y'all need to know that I do have one. Yes. I do have I feed my ancestors. I burn money I do all of that. So if y'all didn't know, you know today. Anyhow, they said that there are certain ancestors that you should not put on your ancestor altar. Right. There are certain ancestors that you shouldn't put on your ancestor altar. So I'm wondering why that is, because if it's an ancestor that did something, what if they did something but you're not aware of anything that they did, but you have them on your altar? Can that affect you? So my question again is, why should you not have certain ancestors on your altar?
Frequency. It goes back to frequency.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some smells, make us turn our nose up, don't want to be around somebody.
Right.
And that's a frequency. Some ancestors have bad frequency. So my altar is for communication, two-way, me giving and me getting. So I need that thing to be smooth and harmonious, not balanced. I need to be smooth and clear and harmonious. I don't need it to be caller, what'd you say? Say that again, huh? What'd you say? Because I got a disrupting frequency on my altar. So you say, well, how do you know? Don't guess. So you start your altar off with someone is honorable, someone who had a pleasant frequency. So for me as a Taurus, and I like to eat, if my feet went under your table while you were on this plane, when you cross over from this plane, know 100% that your feet gonna be up under my table now. So my altar is crowded with people who were very honorable to me. I had very good relationships with them off the gate. You see what I'm saying? Now, I have a picture of my great-grandmother on both sides. I never met them. I have a picture of my grandfather and grandmother on my father's side. I never met them. I got them on my altar. things have been going well. And in my research, they were cool people. But if I find out that they weren't, and stuff start moving, then I'll remove them. Because it's me first. This is my life I'm living right now. So it's all about me and the altar and the harmony. You know, I'm gonna help you the best I can, but I also am gonna work with the willing. Some of our ancestors are not willing to receive help from us. Then, you know, I can pray for them from afar, but I ain't getting ready to struggle with them, just like I ain't gonna struggle with nobody in real life. If you have a flat tire and I'm trying to help you and you trying to fight me because I got on a white shirt and dreadlocks, you gonna stay there with the flat tire and I'm gonna drive on. You know, I'm not I love that quote, limitations you fight for, you get to keep. I'm not getting ready to fight you for your limitations. So I just make sure I know that I have favorable ancestors up. I remember talking to Baba Kalindi on an interview one day, and he said some ancestors were a piece of shit. He was just like, they really didn't contribute anything. They didn't contribute anything to the community while they were here. Why do they deserve to be up there? That's the same thing like skin folk don't make you kinfolk. I don't mess with everybody that's black just because you got black skin. I don't go to every black business because you black. So just because you was and the data tells me that most of the people in court are blood related. Most of the cases filed against another person is coming from a person who they blood related to. Mama, daddy, sister, brother, uncle, nephew. We suing each other inside. We're blood related. No, I don't need that. So a lot of people think ancestors can only be your blood relatives. No, ancestors are honorable people. Then you got different divisions of ancestors. You got the local ancestors like you probably knew personally. Then you got the ones you got proof of, like my great-grandmother and great-grandfather. I got proof of them. But then there's ancestors I ain't never even thought about. They may be your ancestor from another star constellation. What about them? You know? So, and I'm learning now that some ancestors never knew trauma. So this healing, the ancestral healing I'm talking about is for the ancestors who were involved in a lot of trauma. But I'm glad that I have realized that all my ancestors were not filled with trauma. That was a big, more mental health game. They think that everybody came from slavery. Well, if everybody came from slavery, you still only got a 500-year window. What about the 950,000 years before that? Where were they at? What were those ancestors doing? You know, how do I tap into them who this joker was always rich and his daddy was rich and his great granddaddy had paper and everything was good. And everybody had 5, 6 wives and mad land and you know what I'm saying? And doing what they was doing, living their best life. Like getting in contact with that ancestor, or at least one of them. You know, and so that's another hat that I'm being trained in now to get in contact with that one ancient ancestor who can lead me to the other ancestors. But guess what? They want to see what kind of integrity I have. Like it's cool you want to get in contact with me because I'm the Jay-Z ancestor. You know what I'm saying? I'm the J. Paul Getty ancestor. But what are you doing for the jokers that's right around you right now? Are you doing anything to heal Aunt Christine? Are you doing anything to heal Aunt Maggie? You know, so we have to really, really, really get down with the get down to start here at the beginning of moving the confusion out the way about what ancestors are and how we can interact with them. Because this conversation is confusing for some people. They didn't know that that the ancestors still needed healing or that you could help. You know? And so this is some high level information being brought back down to eye level. That's one thing I have done is I'm a researcher, but I have to find an organized way to share and record it, especially something like this. So this think tank will be available. The replay will be available forever, you know, but because I want somebody to come and be like, wow, this is almost like a time capsule. August the 13th, 2022, he dropped this piece right here. and start out, here's 100 people had it, then 300, then 900, then 9,000, then 100,000. And they're like, wow, we don't have any more confusion about our ancestors. So that's and we know how the year works. And we know, like, look at those two things. How do you heal your ancestors and how you get your money right? How you manage your own energy while healing your ancestors. I think it's going to be a packed house.
That's dope. Let me show the flyer again. That's dope.
Bam. And you see up in the top right-hand corner, what does it say?
Live free.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about. That's really what you should be. All the other stuff is good, but live free is that's the banner that is flying under.
Yes, I love it. Live free.
That's the banner that is flying under.
Oh man, you have so much going on in this think tank. We haven't even gotten to human design. That we haven't even. Oh my goodness.
Come on with it. What you want next?
Ooh.
Questions.
Like what would be like the basics? Because I know human design is a combination of astrology. I was gonna say Tai Chi. That's not right. You go ahead. I Ching. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
I Ching. Yes. And
a 9 chakra system, not 7. Which shows we've been upgraded.
Okay.
And some people, so if you still reading a history book that says Christopher Columbus discovered America, then you're reading outdated information. If you got an iPhone 6, that thing is struggling right now because it has outdated software and outdated programming. So we have to update. We have already upgraded. The software and the hardware is upgraded, and nobody told the mind. So I got 2 new chakras, and I'm still operating like I only got 7. So human design dissolves a lot of this confusion. Human design, I look at astrology as marijuana. I look at, because it's a nice slow high, and you can get hooked on it, and there's lots of songs about it, and it feels good. Beyonce got another Virgo song on her new album. Big shouts out to the Beehive. She know what's going on. And then but we don't have anything. Okay, so that's my marijuana, is the astrology. Okay. Then Cardology, I'm a 2 of diamonds, right? I'm looking for 8 of diamonds to do business with. 6 of clubs, those people I owe, yada, yada, yada. Jay-Z's an ace of diamonds, da-da-da-da-da. What's your card?
I'm a 6 of club. Yes, you owe me. And 2 of diamonds, yep. Yes.
So you in the catbird seat right now. So anyway, so Cardology is my crack.
Yes.
Because it's faster and it's even more addictive.
Yes.
Well, human design is my heroin. Human design is so fast, so addictive, so quick and to the point, and so accurate. When you get the basics. Once somebody brought it down from high level to eye level, it just came in, and I just fell back. Oh my God. Oh my God. And so the fastest way you can study any of these things, this is what I tell my students in the Inner Magic Academy, is to study your exes. Study all your exes. Please keep all the birthdays of anybody you've even been interested in. You went on one date. You had sex, one night stand. You had sex for 3 months. You married them for 50 years. Whatever. Keep their birthday, because then you know this person, and you just don't know that you know astrology. So now when you put this person's astrology data up, you'll be like, oh. When you pull this person's cartomancy up, their cardology, you'll be like, right. Oh Lord. And then when you pull that human design up, you'll just be like, oh God. Oh God. And so yes, that's where I'm at. But human design is also, Then there's Gene Keys, which is after that. I don't know if I'm gonna get into much Gene Keys on Saturday and Sunday, but human design is very left brain, very logical. To me, it's faster than astrology. I wouldn't say it's simpler than astrology, but I know that it's better if you are studying astrology fundamentals when you enter into human design, but it's not necessary. So most of the human design people, they've never studied astrology. So they don't understand houses. They don't understand rising signs. Right?
Wow.
They don't understand stuff, conjunctions, oppositions. They don't understand trines, sextiles. They don't understand aspects at all.
Right.
And they don't understand house rulership. And you don't have to still be a very good human design person, reader.
Right.
But when you put them together, you
Power.
got ish, baby.
Yes.
Ish.
Yes.
Ish. And now you have no confusion. All the confusion is removed. Now you just get to just tap in and just be like, I get it now. But then I'm gonna tell you the thing about human design and the Gene Keys is they will quickly force you over to radical honesty. Oh my God. Because they will slap you in your face and will not care about nothing that you're talking about. Because everything that you run into is just a sign of your curiosity. Somebody's listening to this right now who's never heard of human design or Gene Keys. If they're interested enough to say, let me go over and open it on another screen and hit enter, then you already had it in you. You just needed somebody to tell you what it was. And so now they went over, ran into human design, and human design said, bam, bam, beebity bop. Because it's done me like that sometimes where I had to go back into my teachers that I've been with for like 10 or 11 years and be like, yo, why you ain't tell me that?
Right.
Like, it's right there. It's like 3 sentences. Why you ain't tell me that? And they be like, you think I'm supposed to tell you everything?
They don't laugh like that, do they?
That's how I look when they be talking to me, and because I got Virgo teachers. I've had a lot of Virgo teachers. They all got a sense of humor because they got to deal with me. So I don't even got no dry. I got that, they're very proficient and prolific and scientific, but boy, when they bust a joke, especially if it's on you,
right,
they're gonna get you. They're gonna so and I know that, and I appreciate teachers like that leave room for me to discover things for myself.
Yes.
Then I appreciate that thing that I found. A lot of times, what happens at Christmas? On June 27th, by the first of the year, that joker done moved on to another toy.
This is true.
I just bought you. You ain't playing with the Tonka truck no more? No. No, I need a race car now.
Right.
I just bought a race car. I didn't get the green one though. So you ain't gonna play with the orange one? But when they find it themselves and be like, I saved up some money, let's go to the mall. And then they buy something, that joker's.
They take good care of it.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm taking way better care of Oyi Sun than I ever have, ever in my life. And that's what I want to share that with people too. How do you treat yourself the best that you've ever treated yourself? You're going to have to remove confusion around who you are. And that's what these indigenous practices do. They help us remove confusion around who I really am. The astrology, the human design, the cardology, it removes confusion of who you really are.
Awesome. I told you, y'all, he bad. I don't. you getting so much in 2 days. 2 days, like how are you gonna? That's a lot in 2 days, and we haven't even touched on your 8-week healing container. Do we need to come back? Do we need to come back and do that? Because we just been on this 2-day think tank for it's been an hour.
Well, the 2-day is the alley-oop to the 8-week. The 8-week virtual is the alley-oop to the 5-day retreat in Jamaica or the Dominican Republic. And the 5-day retreat is the alley-oop for the 10-day getaway in Southeast Asia when we go to Thailand, Bangkok, Singapore, and Malaysia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So all of these things, remember I said I had some bigger tasks?
Yes.
And I said this was just a smaller one?
Yes.
So in marketing, this is the mouth of the funnel. So a lot of people are going to come in. It's going to be fewer people get in the 8-week because it's a little more pricey, but you get so much more. I'm trying to throw the whole kitchen sink in there. And plus on the 8-week, now I have time. And I'm putting a super dope strategy together. Like, it's bananas. If you go to the website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, I got a video for each one. So I got a video, a mind mapping video. We should do a whole thing about mind mapping. My God. I have a mind mapping video about what you're going to get in the 2-day. And then I have a mind mapping video of what you're going to get in the 8-week course. And this one is for, I called it microdosing and magic, but it was going to be called, let me be honest, radically honest. It was going to be calling healing dysfunctional families. But I didn't want to put the word dysfunction in my marketing. I was like, calling all dysfunctional families, right? So I was like, let's call it, microdosing and magic. So if you believe in magic and you're interested in how do I put these two together for ancestral healing? Then let's spend 8 weeks together so I don't have to rush. So you don't have to be overwhelmed. So you have time to come back and ask questions. Here's some time we spent together. Now you're off on your own applying it. And you come back next week. I'm going to do a little review and a Q&A, and I'm going to give you some more. Boom, boom, boom. This has been the process, the way that I've been taught is in containers. So now instead of me just trying to just throw it at people in Clubhouse or Instagram or whatever, I'm creating containers where people can come in and have an organized system that will always be with them. I'm trying to give you something that you can never lose. And I love when I go, this is a tribute to the teachers that I have.
Yes.
How can I know astrology off the dome, no books like this, unless my teacher knew it like that and put me in a container and gave me order and structure? How do I know rituals and candle magic like that unless I had a teacher who put me in a container and showed me orders and proper protocols and safety? I'm not doing anything but representing the teachers that I come from. That's it.
Wow. And then I was going to ask, like, why should they want to work with Oyi? Because you got workwithoyi.com.
Well, the word work is a verb.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the word with means us together.
Yes.
We all need help. I'm a 2 of diamonds. You should work with a 2 of diamonds. Everybody, if you know anything about cartomancy,
yes,
working with a 2 of diamonds is a win-win situation. Oh, and he just so happens to be a Taurus, born on the 17th of May, the same day as the New York Stock Exchange. He may know a thing or two about money. So people should work with me because, if you want to be primitive, if you want to get paid, you should work with me. If you want to elevate spiritually, you should work with me. If you want to remove all confusion, you should work with me. If you want to be in the right crowd and get with my network is why you should want to work with me. Mm-hmm. If you got something and I ain't the one, I quickly say, un momento, por favor. Hola. Yeah. Take care of Miss Martin. She about to get your number. Okay. No problem. All right. Thank you. That's that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people should work with Oyi, and you cannot get, this is a quote too from a teacher, you can't get to the Hall of Fame without a coach. There's nobody in any Hall of Fame that just shot up and just, I'm here. Right. No, you had to be a part of something. You had to be initiated. That's what coaches do, is they initiate you into systems. And success, people think success is a secret. No, it's a system. Also working with Oyi also shows humility. The same thing I had to show to work with my teachers. I had to show humility. So if you want to come in and put some work in, put a verb down, and get with the program with this Two of Diamond network, because I got tons to share, you know, and I'm just realizing that that's how I want to build the community moving forward. I'm also moving toward the metaverse and Web3 and huge NFT community. So I'm looking for the brighter minds to go with me. I can't save everybody, but I can grab me a nice little handful, you know, 500,000, 1,500 people who really high level. That's how your boy, Seven Bomar, he just started out with him a nice little small crew. And then, phew. So I'm a little, some could say I'm behind the 8 ball, but it wasn't my time before. And I have a YouTube channel and all types of content all over the place and stuff like that. But this particular time, the blade is much sharper, much thinner, you know, cutting much more precisely. So to me, that's why people should work with Oyi, because the advantages definitely outweigh the disadvantages. Because if you ain't gonna work with me, there's a potential you could pay the dumb tax. Because there's been coaches that I didn't work with, that I should have worked with. And then when I did come to work with them, it was like 20,000. I was like, I remember my man said it was you was charging like 1,500.
Wow.
It's over. You didn't come then.
Price is not today's price.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. And he was like, and I'm teaching the exact same thing, but now I know what it's worth, so it's 20K.
That's right.
I said, so what is that called? Inflation? He said, no, the dumb tax. They're gonna have to pay the dumb tax. That's high level coaching. If this is offensive to somebody, you ain't high level. But you're gonna pay when you don't get coaching. You end up paying for it through something that you did that looked dumb, appeared dumb. You labeled it as dumb. You didn't have nobody to go check it with, because I'm not your friend. I'm your teacher. I'm your coach. I ain't gonna BS you, and I ain't gonna coddle you.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you some facts. We're gonna engineer it, and I'm really gonna act like I got some part ownership in it. Your peoples that you get advice from, they don't have part ownership in your failure. When you fail, they just be like, "Oh, girl, oh, they won't nothing no way." Then they blame it on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? They don't say, "Well, Miss Martin, you could have done it this way too." Or the first thing a real friend should have told you was go see a coach. I just had somebody, they wanted to sell a house. This is an example why you should work with OU. I said, okay, why haven't you sold the house? I can't get the price. I said, okay, what's the price? They was like, I want $375. I said, okay. I said, what if you could get 300? They was like, oh, we've already turned down 350. I said, you turned down 350 because you want 375? They was like, yeah. So we started breaking it down. I said, well, why you want 375? They was like, well, I want to give myself $50,000 bonus. Okay, so then I broke out my dry erase board. I thought doing subtraction. And I said, if we take away 50 from 350, you still have 300,000. Tell me what you're gonna do with it. Oh, look at the guest superstar came in, wanted to say, who was that talking? Everyone, this is Ashanti. She's an attention whore, and she's a pet bull, PET, not PIT. Pet bull. Watch this right here. She like, where you going? I'm put you
spoiled.
And so after we wrote out all of the numbers, I said, you know, you said you want to put some money into a business. I said, but you didn't put any money into any coaching. You got $300,000 or $325,000. You didn't go get any coaching on how money operates. Me, when I saw the $1 billion mega millions, if I would have hit that, I'm going to get a coach for $1 million who's really seen some money.
Yes.
I'm going to see somebody and pay them. So be like, yo, what's up? And I want you to stick with me for about 3 years till I'm hiring you. And I'm going to definitely throw some money at that on making my education go up, personal development.
Right.
I don't want possessions. I want positioning. Oyi Sun is a position guy. I squeeze the life out of a person on the chessboard. I don't need to checkmate you early. I want you to quit and surrender because the pressure is so nasty. And that's what I want to show other people. How do you apply pressure, real pressure? Put some pressure on yourself and understand finances. So now that once we redid the math, okay, take the 50K, give it to yourself. Take 10K and go get some coaching on money. Learn how to trade options, stock, all of that. Put 25K in an account and go practice. So now you got 50 and 35K. That's 85K. Off of 375, you still got $295,000 sitting over there lounging.
Right.
We have an issue that's more mental health. I want a whole bunch of money and don't know what to do with it. Once again, what the good book say? A fool and his or her money are soon parted. So why would you want to go through all this anxiety about selling a house, getting all this money and stuff, and then the next thing you know, in 2 years, you back in an apartment and you like wondering where all the money went. And now you saying, I got to go dig into that 50,000. 50,000 just sitting there is doing you no good. Money is like a sophisticated woman. If you don't know how to treat her, she will leave you. So you got to know how to treat this money. That's why you go get a coach. You find somebody who knows more than you, and that's where I'm at. I'm surrounded by people like you who know more than me. My Spanish is terrible. You're like, learn one word a day. I know somebody that's smarter than me in these particular subjects.
Right.
So this is also a part of humility. Hopefully other people will be like, yo, I want to pick up some of these other skills. What else you got? That's really what I want people to ask me is, what else you got? So yeah. Now,
he got plenty. My goodness. Wow. And I know that, oh, you can go on probably another hour talking about all the things that he's doing and what's coming up, what's the next thing happening, just all the knowledge that you have. Wow. I'm blown away.
you don't got no more questions? I thought you had one more question. I was just like,
I mean, because you're a good teacher, so you do very well at teaching and explaining.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. So okay, so we'll talk. Okay, so I do want you to come back, though. I want you to come back because we have so much more to talk about. We're not finished. Like we have so much more to talk about, but right now we just want to focus on your 2-day think tank because that's coming up really soon. I'm gonna put a flyer up again so they can see what we got going on here. Here we go. This is the 2-day virtual think tank. This is August the 13th and 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, this is Ancestral Healing with Sacred Earth Medicine, Astrology, and Human Design. Heal thyself, heal thy ancestors, live free. Live free.
Oh, integration. Can I talk about integration 1 second?
Yes.
I have to. That's the one thing we haven't talked about is integration. When you have a dream, and you get a message, how do you integrate that into your life? When you go looking for a meaning of a dream, you're trying to integrate.
Yes.
If you are working out or want to lose weight and someone says you need to hydrate, I saw you just take a sip of water, you're integrating more water into your lifestyle.
Yes.
Integration. If you break your arm and then they take it out of the cast, you go to the physical therapist. so they can give you integration, help you walk or pick up things again or get full range of motion like you used to. This a process of integration. Mm-hmm. A woman who's just got pregnant, she's in an integration process of about to be a mother. Mm-hmm. Then the baby come, she's in post integration. Because now whatever she was thinking and learning and whatever, now the baby's here live making noise and pooping everywhere. Now she got to put it into practice. So when it comes to sacred earth medicine and ancestral healing, mm-hmm. and astrology and human design, sure, if there's no strategy for integration, then you will be overwhelmed. But if you know how to piece it together in something very organized, the integration will be so much more fun. And everybody wants to have a fun integration, and it's okay if there's a rough spot. If you're a business owner, which probably most of your listeners are, they're entrepreneurs or business owners or wanting to be business owners. I help a lot of those people in what I do. Business don't just go like this, business go like this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And sometimes it may, and you may think about quitting and you got to catch that joker, and be like, I'm lower than I've ever been before. Yeah, but you didn't quit.
Right.
So what is your integration? That's why I use the word strategy. Big shouts out to my coaches over Tar and Cole bio integration. That's really what this is. And a lot of people don't know what bio integration is. And it's about states and strategies. There are no imperfect people, only imperfect states and imperfect strategies. So whatever state you in, there's a strategy that supports it. You got high blood pressure, you eat too much salt. That's the strategy. I don't drink enough water. I want low blood pressure. What's the strategy? Stop eating so much salt and drink more water.
Right.
And go to bed earlier, get some more sleep. So a lot of times people forget these, they're not even aware that they need integration. It's just a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, going through life. You cannot go through life on a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, for everything that you run into. There needs to be an integration period. Getting a divorce, you need to be integrated back into single life. Graduating college, you need to be integrated into the workforce where now it's all on you.
Right.
Just got an astrology and a human design and a gene key reading from me. Oh my God, you need a plan to integrate what I just told you. I just took 5 grams of mushrooms. How do I integrate this? I'm microdosing for the first time. Some things are changing that I'm unfamiliar with. Do I chalk them up as luck? Or do I have a process of integration that lets this newfound fun and joy be something that I can duplicate? I want to duplicate it. 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 And that's what integration is about. Duplication. Duplication of the fun stuff and getting rid of that old bull jive.
Well, that's good to know that eventually you can have fun, because it seems like sometimes this gets kind of heavy. This the process of healing. It gets heavy. It gets emotional.
Because there is no one who has any integration. There's nobody out here who's really talking about a system of integration for the things that you go through. You know what I'm saying? Even let's say you mental health. I went and got a therapist. I was with the therapist for X amount of weeks or months. How do I integrate my time and my breakthroughs with the therapist into my regular life?
Right.
That's how you know if you got a good therapist or not. Don't just go over there and they just a person that will listen to you because you paid them. Then you can tell everybody you went to a therapist.
Right.
Did they tell you how to integrate the breakthrough we just had? You just had a major breakthrough about your mother or your father or that trauma in your childhood.
Right.
Okay, now how do we integrate that into your regular life? So you stop being so snappy, stop having low energy, stop having losing ass relationships, stop not knowing who you are. Woo. Integration, baby. It's here to stay. And it's not optional no more. It's no dealing with me, integration is no longer optional. It's no longer optional. It's mandatory. It's mandatory for me in my life. So you want to work with Oyi? The I in Oyi stand for integration. Believe that. Before you leave out of here, we're gonna come up here with a whole system for certain. Yeah.
I love that.
How do you integrate magic into your business? You got a business. I got all the marketing right, but I just don't know if you ever tried to put a pink candle on it. A pink candle, how do I use a pink candle? Don't say how do I use a pink candle, say how do I integrate candle magic into my business practices so I can have more money on the bottom line? How do I get more viewers on my podcast by using candle magic? I'd like to know how to integrate that together. Nobody has to see today, maybe the first time somebody know that you had an ancestral altar. You already got 90% of the materials that you need because you already got an ancestral altar. Now you just have to know what can you integrate into your practice that's already existing, dealing with your ancestors to help your podcast, to help your business, to help, all the things that you got going on.
Right.
Integration, man. It's mandatory. And this is the next thing too. And melanated people, black folks, brown folks, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, the pink folks and the colonizers, they done ran off on the plug. They done took off with this. They are gone. The train has left the station, and you done got there. You know how like you might get the martyr and see it pulling off, or you hear it leaving. No, it's gone. It's gone. They are so far ahead in this particular subject. And for us, when I went to a therapist, guess what I said? He must be first black. And I was like, he must be a man. Then I was like, he must be African centered. What? Yeah, I wasn't going to no black male Christian. I wanted to go to a black male who was African centered in his studies, his ideology, and his spirituality.
Yes.
So, and guess what? He's a unicorn.
I bet he is.
And now, because he's in his 60s, I talked to him the other day. He was like, I ain't really taking no more clients right now. Bro, what you mean? You need 1 million people to come see you.
Right.
On Tuesday.
Right.
And another 1 million on Thursday. You can have a couple of days off during the week, but Tuesday and Thursday, I need you to be serving 2 million people like McDonald's.
Right.
So how do we get more of us into the space of integration and safety? That's really where it's at. You don't got to use astrology and human design and all that, but do you have an integration system, and are you concerned about people's safety? Because I'm sick and tired of us jerking us. I ain't complained about racism or white supremacy in about 15 years. I got a problem with Negroes. It's KNEEGROWS. Negroes. My knee. I got a problem with you Negroes. Always on your knees. Your knees always bent. You always cutting under somebody. What about the Kevin Hart interview? Or he's always talking about why can't we work together? So we can tell money's not the problem. Because this joker's got millions on top of millions on top of millions, and now he can't find other people who got millions on top of millions on top of millions who want to work with him.
Wow.
You would think Snoop Dogg would just pick the phone up immediately and be like, bro, I'm trying to work with you.
Right.
Dave Chappelle should be like, bro, I'm trying to work with you. It should be a flood of calls to Kevin Samuels like, I got millions too, let's work together. But it ain't. Interesting.
Very.
It's not the money that's keeping us apart. It's us. And that's why I love your show. It's mental. It's up here. And it's not about the mental is the answer. The mental is done got out of control. It's done got out of control. It's too much power. So it's done got sick. So it need to be some fat need to be cut off of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Some of the things is, that it's doing is not supposed to be doing. It's not supposed to be deciding for us. Our mind was never there for deciding. Because guess what happens when you hear the sisters who screaming for safety? Why are they having some mental issues? Because their mind keeps feeding them scary scenarios by reminding them of their past. That's one of the things I'm doing in the 8-week container is showing you how to get out of your past. There ain't nothing in your past that's really sexy. And there's nothing in your past nobody cares about. Nobody cares about what's going on in my past. They listen to this podcast, and guess what they're saying? How can he help me?
Yes, that's it.
Cool. That's cool that he went through this. He come from a dysfunctional family. He don't sell dope no more. He's into all this and blah, blah. What can he do for me?
Right.
And I ain't got no problem with that. I don't got no problem with that because when I talk to people, I have to remind them, I ain't here about your past. I'm here to help you ball out of control. Excuse my French, but I'm here to help you get into some fly shit.
Right.
Can we get into some fly shit tomorrow?
Right.
Oh, these white people did this. My grandmother. Hey, man, we can heal all that, but we ain't gonna wallow in it.
Right.
I'm not a wallower. So for those of you who are a wallower and you think I'm just gonna listen to you, no. That's why my price point is where it's at. You come over here, I bet you get serious. When you see them numbers, you can be like, ooh. Now, not the 2-day now. The 2-day is only $150. So I look at that as just like, yes. I know I'm going to teach 2 hours both days, possibly 3.
And man, they say 150? That's all?
Days, for 2 days. And that's what I'm hearing too. That's all?
Wow.
Yeah. That's it. 2 days. That's like $75 a day. You got lifetime access to it. Now the replay will not be $150.
Okay. Okay.
So hopefully we get a lot of folks popping, right? Like I'm about to be. I'm excited about it, and I'm very honored to be here on your platform talking to your folks. If they made it all the way to this part of it, they must be interested. So
yeah.
Y'all see that thing at the bottom going across the page? Please get on my list. Please get on my list. I sent out an email the other day. I was telling people about the 10-day trip maybe in February. They already asking about that. I was like, you ain't put your shoes on yet.
Right.
You ain't finished breakfast.
Right. Right. But at least they're excited. No,
that ain't enough for me. Like, here's the thing. What can excited and unqualified do for Miss Martin? You out here at the mall looking all good and everything, and the Joker run up on you and he's all excited. But he ain't got no plan. He ain't qualified to deal with the things that you need him to help you deal with. But he's excited. What you want me to say? Girl, go ahead, give him your number. He's excited.
No.
He's qualified.
He's not ready.
He's not ready.
He's not ready.
He's not ready.
No.
And what you think we're gonna be doing in Southeast Asia for 10 days? Strategy and massages. Strategy and massages. So they think they just coming to get. I'm not just coming to get no massages. I want to do some strategy. I want to go over there with some business owners. Let's talk about thinking big and multiplying. I should have just sent them back how much it's going to cost. Plus, you're getting interviewed. You're getting interviewed before I even let you pay for it. This is not. I'm not never putting the trip out there and say the first 10 people that pay. I want to know who I'm gonna meet where I'm going somewhere.
That's right.
In this container here, everybody can come, but my retreat in Costa Rica or Jamaica or something, if it's gonna be 10 or 12 people, it's gonna be the best.
Yes.
It's gonna be some high level people that can network together and make some money together.
Mm-hmm.
10 days, Southeast Asia. That's 12 hours in the future.
Wow.
That's on the other side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there. I ain't taking no half wits with me. I'm gonna want to know, is this your first trip out the country?
Right.
Do you have your new passport book? See, I went and stunning on him. My man saw my passport sitting out here. I have my passport right in front of me every day with the Jade Emperor. I have an altar right here on my desk. I have my passport right here. And all of a sudden he seen it and was like, bro, go on and get you something nice. If you're going to get it stamped up, man, go get you something nice. I was like, he is right. I can't wait till I just do that one time on somebody you got your passport? I want to hand them the whole book too.
There you go. Right. That's right. That's right. And see, that's why y'all need to attend this think tank, this 2-day think tank. Because this how you're gonna wind up. Passport getting stamped, right? Yes.
What are you doing? Practicing. What?
Yes.
Are you gonna use the overhand thumb, or you gonna do thumb on top, or you gonna use the forefinger?
Right.
You gonna do it underhand like this? You gonna let them see it like that, or is it gonna be going down flat like this with the 2-finger? There's so many techniques that you could pass a passport to somebody for him to stamp it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
oh my goodness, hilarious! Yes, and this is what you're going to get to, ladies and gentlemen. He does have a sense of humor. He really does.
Do my best. Do my best.
Oh, wow. I have really enjoyed this time that we shared together. Thank you for coming on Snails with No Shells. We do appreciate you.
Thank you for letting me take my shell off. I appreciate it.
Yes. And so before we go, is there just a nugget or a piece of advice or a quote that you would like to leave with everyone that's watching the show?
Well, I'm already a creature of habit, so I always close the shows out with prayer. You know, prayer is a unifier. Prayer is an internal cleanser that you can do as often as you want. So in maintaining your peace or finding your peace, prayer leads to that. You know, talking to spirit is prayer. That's the beginning of a dialogue. So if I could say prayer at the end, that'd be great. And then right before that, I would give a lesson that that my teacher said, you know, it's okay. Find somebody you can love unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to require you to study unconditional love. You're not going to just be able to talk about unconditional love and just jump out there and do it. But find somebody you can love unconditionally.
That's beautiful.
And tell the truth. Tell the truth. I got the old one. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Right.
Tell the truth. Stop lying. Stop lying is a word of advice. Stop lying. Stop lying. Just please start being more radically honest. Shock some people. You know, see how many people you can get next week. In the next 2 days, how many people can you get to look at you and say, oh, you've changed? And you say, I have.
Yes. Bam. And that is so funny because Kristen and Light and I, we did a video about lying and spirituality. Yes, we did. That's the podcast that we did. Sure did. We talked about lying.
I need to watch that one ASAP. That's my big homie right there. Two of my favorite people in the same building.
Yes, we love Chris and Light. Yes, definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. But okay, so also this will be on, you'll be able to hear this. It's on audio too. So if you don't mind, we on Google, Apple,
Spotify.
We all across the digital world. So
Peep it on the audio. All I need you
yeah,
to do is hit that 404-999-4251. 404-999-4251. Just text the word #sacred. #sacred. That's really all I need. She asked me, she was like, would you want me to put your Cash App? No, don't send me no money. Send me your phone number so we can stay connected. I'm like Ryan Leslie. I want to build my network with dope people who believe in sacred things. So please text the word #sacred to 404-999-4251. And you can find me Oyi517 on Instagram and workwithoyi.com. That's plenty. Just those two right there. But if you just text me your phone number, if you just text me the word sacred, I got it from there. Because you're going to get back a form. You're going to fill it out. You're going to put your birthday in. I'm going to have your info. And then we're going to be able to stay in contact. Then you're going to get first dibs on things that I'm doing in the future before it gets to social media or in the public. So I'm just want to build more relationships with some of you dope ass people out here who are listening to this podcast. And also be on the lookout for my podcast, Stars, Frogs, and Mushrooms.
yes.
It's on the way, player. Good God Almighty. It's funky, nasty. And as we say, it's 1,000,000 years worth of game, not $1 million worth of game. It's 1,000,000 years worth of game. That's what we coming out here with. You can blow through $1 million, but you're not about to blow through 1,000,000 years. Not happening.
Not happening.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Yes. I love it. So 404-999-4251 #sacred.
That's all I
I
need.
love
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, well, like I said, I enjoyed this time. I know we could go another hour. I must have you back, so we can get some more good nuggets and some.
What do you want to talk about next time?
What do I want to talk about?
Yeah, what you want to talk about next time?
I don't know yet.
What?
I don't know
Pick
yet.
one. Just pick something. What stood out to you today in this one, in this interview?
What stood out the most for me is where two things stood out most: the ancestors, talking about the ancestors, and human design. Like that's what stood out the most.
That's
And
two shows. That's two shows. There you go. They go to the next
right.
two shows. That was easy.
And then cartomancy is one too, because I found out about human design first, and then astrology, and then cartomancy. So I mean that's 3 shows.
Do you think your audience is gonna let me come back for 3 shows?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They will.
Yeah. I want to talk about Black men's mental health too. That might be 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be great. My listeners know that I am a mental health advocate, and I definitely advocate for our melanated men for sure.
Yes,
I'm here for it. Absolutely.
Yes. We should do a show called "How You Get You I don't know how you get you. That's a something. How you get you? I had to pause myself right there. or how do we get more Black love? Something like that. How can we talk about like accountability or something that we need to be talking about?
Yes.
That's what's popping. But whatever you want. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Su casa, mi casa.
Oh, gracias, hermoso, gracias.
Y'all see that? I said her house was my house. I ain't saying my house was her house. I was like, her house. She invited me to her house. So hey,
yes,
you ring me up and I'm gonna be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and thank you again for joining me. I have enjoyed this time.
Thank you.
Again, last time 404-999-4251. Text #sacred. That is how you get on Oyi's list.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, before we go, what I would like to say is remember, just like the sun, you are necessary. I love y'all. Peace.